Right, welcome back. This is the State of the Nation. This is where we take you through some of the events, of course, that concerns you, the common citizen. And of course, we are talking about the State of the Nation. And today, we are drawing a very sharp focus on President William Ruto's visit to China. Remember, it's a 5-day state visit, and we're taking a look at some of the significance of this particular visit and what it entails. This comes at a time when we have the war between the two superpowers. I'm talking about the China, which is the host nation, and of course US due to tariffs imposed by US President Donald Trump. And of course, is this, in terms of optics, is this a win for China? And in terms of geopolitics, what does it mean for Kenya? And of course, to help us unpack this discussion is Dr. Julius Nyamawi Mwachidwi, Secretary General, Internship Liaison Committee. Asante sana for making time.
Thank you.
Well, President William Ruto's trip to China comes at a very interesting time. When you look at the optics, the trip comes at a time when, first, Kenya still owes China its debt, and at the same time, it comes at a time when we have the ongoing war between China and, of course, United States of America in terms of tariffs, of which even Kenyans have been hit hard, 10% on that. Well, when you look at the visit itself, talk to me about the significance of this China trip.
Okay, so first, thank you so much for the invite today. And the Ruto's visit to China, in my point of view, I can say it's more than just a political visit to China. So for me, I view it as an economic visit, because as a country, Kenya, we must remain geopolitically neutral, because Kenya also, at a time when we are experiencing the global wars between the USA and China, Kenya needs to diversify the trade partners, so that in case one relationship fails, then we still remain in a position whereby we can still we avoid, so that we can avoid some economic shock in the future, so that we still remain at a position whereby we can still do our trade.
All right. Well, US has been Kenyan ally for the longest time. And of course, the new tariffs imposed by United States of America President Donald Trump has hit Kenya the hardest, 10% in that regard. Do you think probably now it's a change of tune from Nairobi to Washington? Do you think probably right now, even as we talk about this state visit, which is very significant, if you ask me, given the fact that what is happening in the world right now about the war between United States and China, two powerful nations in terms of tariffs, and how we have seen China really engaging in a lot of diplomatic ties, try to marshal their numbers, talk to friends. They have been in the Indonesia trying to woo the Indonesians people, just to try and come and see if they can salvage a win-win situation at the backdrop of what is happening, the war between these two nations. Do you think it's about time probably Nairobi is considering a shift of tune and probably reconsider their ally?
Yeah, sure. Just as I had said, that at a time like this, when already we are facing a lot of debt pressure, and also US imposing the tariffs. So in my view, I feel like, I'm not a strong supporter of the president. I'm not a strong supporter of this government. But in my view, I feel like Kenya is trying to position itself in such a way that we do not rely so much on one partner like the USA, because we've been in good terms with the USA in terms of trade and everything. But I feel that the visit by the head of state, that is His Excellency the President William Samoei Ruto, for me, I feel like you see, like Kenyans currently are so anxious. Is it because the president is going to negotiate the existing loans, so that maybe we can have some better terms when it comes to, because sometimes the loan, what matters is not about the amount of the loan, but the terms that are contained in that loan. So we are all it's still not clear. Maybe some people are saying that maybe he's going to renegotiate the existing the terms of the existing loans, or maybe he's going to borrow so that we can improve more on our infrastructure, or maybe it's because of the war between the US and China, so that Kenya is positioning itself in such a way that it doesn't rely so much in one partner. So it's as a country we are trying to maybe trying to build more trade partners, so that in future we do not experience those economic shocks, so that we position ourselves in such a way that yes, we will not be affected by the war between China and USA, because of course it is going to affect the supply chain. Yeah, thank you.
And hypothetically speaking, let's say that is the case, that is the aim of the visit, to mend the relationship, or rather to rebuild the relationship between Nairobi and Beijing. If that's the case, then that will be seen as an act of retaliation against USA. So the big question will be, at what stake?
Of course, at this particular point, as a nation, of course we know that there has been the war between China and USA, and of course this will affect us as a country, because as I've said, it will also affect the supply chain. So as a country we must remain, I think Kenya needs to remain geopolitically neutral, so that we do not, it doesn't seem like we are shifting from maybe USA to China, or maybe trying to amend the relationship with China. But it is a time that as a nation we really need to remain geopolitically neutral, so that war doesn't actually affect us as a country, so that we do not rely so much on China at the expense of USA, something that maybe it can affect us. But I feel it's a time that as a country we need to remain geopolitically neutral.
All right.
Yes.
And let's talk about the main aim of this visit. And of course, the visit is aimed to, apart from now the geopolitics aspect of it, it's aimed to secure funds to expand the SGR, of course, from all the way that will stretch to Malaba, and among many other things, including even building roads. Well, more funds, it means more taxes, taxation, of course, for Kenyans. And this comes at a time when we still actually grapple with the payment of debts that we owe China. Well, when you look at this particular arrangement, does it really disturb you as a Kenyan, especially at the level of borrowing that probably you are witnessing, given the very fragile nature of our economy?
Yeah, absolutely, because currently the discussion that is ongoing is about the national debt, and of course we have been borrowing a lot from China, and that is very disturbing, especially to the common mwananchi, because majority of the people out there are thinking that actually our president is in China to secure more loans, and we are the ones who will pay these loans. For me, I feel like it is high time that we should actually the president should actually focus more on renegotiating these terms, so that we do not just secure a loan for short-term infrastructural development, or maybe for short-term satisfaction, that is in terms of infrastructure or other thing, but it's high time that we need to secure loans that with good interest, and also are spread at the repayment period is also is renegotiated in such a way that it won't actually affect the common mwananchi. So for me, I feel like as a country we should also focus more on building sectors that will attract foreign direct investment rather than keep on borrowing debts that will keeps on increasing the national debt, and we are the ones who will pay. Yes, so as for me, I feel like it's high time that as a country we need to focus more on building sectors that attract foreign direct investment at the expense of keeping borrowing loans from China.
All right, and because you're talking about the state of the nation, I want us to transition to another very important topic. It's about now the state of healthcare, and in this regard, you're talking about the intern doctors. Because now I'm sitting with the Secretary General himself. Bring us up to speed. What is the current status of the interns?
Yeah, so as the Secretary General of the Internship Liaison Committee, whatever is happening to the current interns right now, the current pre-interns right now, is very frustrating because it's almost 1 year now. Some of the pre-interns have stayed home for more than 1 year. And it has always been like when you finish campus, when you are done with your 6 years of study, you are being authed. You take oath, you are being authed. Then after that, you have to ballot. Balloting means that it's just a process that randomly allocate the pre-interns into the different internship center. Then the posting needs to be done within 3 months after finishing campus. That means if you finish your studies by August, by November you should be posted. But currently we have interns who have stayed at home for more than 1 year, and it's very frustrating actually. And we have had the CS Duale saying, the Honorable Duale saying that he has committed to actually ensure that the balloting is done within this month. And personally, I've been at KMPDC today. I was also at MOH to follow up on the same because this it was a public pronouncement by the CS that actually he will ensure that balloting is done by the end of this month. So we are optimistic that he will keep his word. And also the posting, he was so committal that the posting will take place in 1st July. And as per the CBA, so he was to engage the president, the cabinet, and also the Council of Governors. So it's a very sad state because by July some of the interns will have stayed home for more than 1 year. And mind you, as for us, for the medical pre-interns, once you are done with the medical course, you cannot practice. No, you cannot practice because you must have a license. And you cannot get this practicing license without doing the mandatory internship that takes a whole 1 year. So you have to do the mandatory internship for a whole 1 year. Then after that, now you are being given your license so that you can practice. So you can imagine somebody who has finished campus for more than 1 year. He's at home. He or she cannot go back to the university. He or she cannot practice because she doesn't have the license. So it's very frustrating, and that is why we have had a lot of we had cases of suicide in the last cohort of interns that are currently practicing.
All right, and talking about the suicide, about the welfare of this medical intern, you have really talked about those who are not yet who have not joined at least the institutions or the interns that have not been posted, so that they can get the internship and get the certificate that you say. But let's talk about a license. Let's talk about those who are already in the health unit sector, those who are
currently doing the internship.
And of course we have had numerous cases of complaints from you guys about the payment, which is one. And of course we have the whole issue of overworking, which is basically the workload. So talk to us about this very important welfare of the interns, and what do you guys, what's your demand? What do you want?
You see, as an intern, you are like the donkey in the hospital, because you do all the work in that hospital. Actually, when you go to any level 4 or level 5 hospital, whoever you'll find, the first contact will be a medical intern. He's the one who will take history from you, who will do your examination, who will order the labs, the test and everything. So interns do much of the work in the hospital, but they are not being, the working environment is not good, because like take for example last year, the current cohort of interns that are currently in their hospital, they were posted without the payment, the terms of payment. So and they stayed for months without being paid. You can imagine going for a 36-hour shift, or at least maybe a 24-hour shift, and you are not being paid. You are not. It's not clear whether maybe you will be paid as per the CBA, because the CBA stipulates that the current cohort, the interns should be paid 206K. And there's a circular by the SRC that where they wanted to pay the intern 70,000. So as in the work and the payment was not proportional, and it was not clear, even it was not clearly indicated in their posting letters. So somebody going for work for 36 hours, for 24 hours, doing all the work, and the consultants from the ward itself, they just come for maybe in specific days for the ward rounds, only maybe for a few hours. Then after that they go. But the interns are the one doing everything. So I feel it's high time that the government needs to prioritize interns, because they are the backbone of our health sector. For them to achieve the UHC, then they need to look at the interns, because they are the backbone of our health sector.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, and because we are running out of time, I'll have to say that is where we leave it at this particular point, unfortunately. And many thanks for making time to shed some light on this very important discussion about the state of the nation, where we discuss matters politics and everything in between. A discussion that touches you, the common mwananchi, when it comes to the affairs of the country, be it politics, business, healthcare, name it all. All right.